Attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you are in the world. Welcome to the launch of Conversology's digital media webinar series. And of course, we kick off with Quick Start Copywriting. This session is co-presented by the Freelance Writer's Guide of the Philippines. My name is Jam Mayer, your moderator for today. Of course, before we start with the main event, let me go through a very short orientation for those, as we call them, webinar virgins. There are still in the audience that this is their first time to actually attend a webinar or an online seminar. Now, of course, as you enter the room, you would have noticed that there is the GoToWebinar viewer that's going to appear on your right. And the control panel, of course, this is where you can use some little buttons to engage with us. Now, the first button, of course, it would actually show as a red rectangle box with a white arrow inside. Sometimes the control panel can get into the way depending on your monitor size. So if you could just click on that, and definitely will minimize the control panel. The second one is a square that will go on full screen mode so you can see our expert speakers presentation on full screen mode. The third, of course, would be the raise your hand button. We'll explain that a little bit better in another few slides. And of course, the last one would be the mic button. Now, what's important, of course, is can you hear us? There are 3 screenshots right now. You can attend a webinar with an iPad, for example. So in order to check if you can hear us, of course, you can go to the upper right corner. There is a button there, and you can connect to audio using mic and speakers. For those in New Zealand, of course, you do have a conference call bridge. You can use a landline if you're in Auckland, of course. That's going to start at 9, and the number, of course, and the codes. Now, for Windows PC users, you can click on settings on your audio panel and you will see a window pop up. You can choose the headset and the speakers you're using. You can click on play sound, adjust the volume level, and of course, if you see green lights going back and forth, you are good to go. Lastly, for Mac users, it's a little bit different. So just make sure GoToMeeting or GoToWebinar is on the foreground and click on audio. Then just choose the audio input, your microphone, and of course the output for your speakers. Engage with us, guys. This is not just a lecture. We are expecting some exercises from the speaker today. So please use the questions panel or a chat box, definitely. This is where you can connect and engage with us. As I was saying earlier, the third button is that little yellow hand with a green arrow on top. All of your virtual hands are actually lowered. So as soon as you click on that, you want to raise your hand, that arrow will change into red. Now, lastly, for a smoother online experience, please no downloading, guys, or if you are streaming any videos like YouTube, don't pause it because it still will stream, but please do not download or stream. Just close it if you can during the session. Close any chat windows or multiple browser windows. And of course, you can attend this webinar through a wireless connection, but we still recommend that you use a LAN cable to be sure. And any program that affects bandwidth, please, if you could, close them for now, and that would be great. So that's it for my short orientation. Thank you for bearing with me. If this is for the veterans over there, of course, join us on Twitterland. The hashtag right now is Conversologist. Of course, our Chief Engagement Officer, Hubert from France, is on standby and listening to you as well. So let's get the ball rolling. You might get, you might are actually bored right now listening to me. So our expert speaker for tonight or today is Lillian Leon, a freelance copywriter and marketing communications consultant with over 15 years experience. She has consulted and written for a range of corporates, government organizations, ad agencies, and of course, other small businesses in New Zealand. She recently started her own blog called The Online Marketing Rookie. Without further ado, I would like to present, of course, Lillian or Lily Leon. Hi, Lily. How are you doing?
Hi, Jam. How are you? Can you
Good
hear
to
me?
go. Yep, I can hear you loud and
Can you hear me?
clear. Yep.
Great. Just one thing, I cannot see the box here. I don't know if that matters, but that's okay. We can just carry on.
Yep, no worries. What I'll do, of course, is to give you presenter rights so that we can see your presentation. And of course, you can start anytime you're ready.
Okay, we're ready to go. Right, are we ready? Sorry,
Yeah.
first time on here as well. Teething problems. I can't see the box still, but that's okay. All right, hello everyone. I'm Lillian Leon, and welcome to Quick Start Copywriting. Can you see my screen? I hope you can see my screen because I can't actually see you.
Not yet. Just click on screen sharing on your panel, and there is a big play button over there, and that should actually start your screen sharing. Yep.
Okay, all right, show my screen. Here we go. Right. Can you all see that?
We can see it perfectly. Go right ahead.
Okay. Right, okay, so welcome to Quick Start Copywriting. Sorry about that, just a few teething problems there. I'm really, really excited to have you here today, and because you're going to learn so much. I've got a really chunky presentation, and we've got heaps to get through. By the end of this webinar, you're going to be able to go away and start practicing the techniques that I'm going to teach you today. And these techniques are used by professional copywriters all over the world. Some tips and tricks, some principles. So let's just start now. Here we go. Okay, so before we start, I just want to make a point that copywriting is actually an art, and it actually takes a lot of practice to actually get right. I've been copywriting now for almost 18 years, and I'm still learning. I'm still honing my skills, and I'm still evolving. So there's heaps to learn. I'm never 100% happy with my own copy. I'm still playing with it over and over again. So it's all about practicing. The more you practice, the better you'll get at it. Okay, so what we'll cover today, I'll go through the 5 principles of writing good copy, and then I'll give you 4 more tricks of the trade that us copywriters use. Then I'm going to go through the writing process pretty much from start to finish, and throughout this webinar I'll also be giving you some exercises to do. So I hope you've got a pen and paper ready. Basically these exercises we can actually do through the chat box that you can see on the side there. And if you have any questions for me, please just ask them, and then I will endeavour to actually answer them at the end of each section as we go. Now, just before we start, I just want to just see very quickly how many of you are actually professional copywriters, and how many of you are actually business people wanting to actually, you know, improve your customer marketing. So if you could raise your hand and let me just have a look. I'm just going to get out of the screen so I can get on and have a look to see how you're going there. So can you raise your hands there?
Yep. Lily, just to clarify, by the way, they are raising their hand if they are professional copywriters, is it?
Yeah, sorry, that first. If you're not looking to become a professional copywriter, just raise your hand.
Okay. So far, no one has raised their hands.
Really? Oh, that's really interesting.
Yep,
So,
except
so
for
are you business people?
yep, except for Andrew, of course. He did say professional writer.
Right. Oh, fantastic. Okay, that's great. Hopefully you'll get something out of this then, Andrew, as well. Okay, that's great. All right, well, let's just get started. Okay, so the 5 principles of good copy. So the 5 principles are, first one is to write for your reader. Second one is write like you talk. I'm going to go through each of these in more detail in a minute. The third one is to get to the point. Fourth, use short sentences. And 5, it's really important to break up the copy using subheadings, paragraphs, bullet pointing, and numbering. These are the 5 principles that I use to write my copy. So the first principle is write for your reader. I mean, the whole purpose of copywriting is to actually communicate and connect with your reader. So the first and most important copywriting principle is always to write for your reader. Just think about your reader. It's all about them. So think about using you a lot, the word you. And whenever you're writing, just think, does my copy tell the reader something useful or something new? Will they understand what I've written? Will they want to buy from me after reading this copy? So these are the sorts of things that you need to ask yourself as you're actually writing, because it's always about the reader. Here is an example here that I did earlier. So if you have a look on the left, before is a non-reader focused copy. It's all about the business. Total Plan offers high levels of customer service. We offer a one-on-one service, blah, blah, our staff, blah, blah. So it's all about we. If you turn it into reader focused copy, you're talking more about you. At Total Plan, we're all about making it easy for you. You'll have your very own financial advisor who will work with you to develop a unique plan to suit your lifestyle and budget. Plus, we come to you, so you don't even have to leave home. So get in touch now and let's get started. So you can see the difference. One is more about the business and the other is more about the reader. Okay, the next principle is to write like you talk. Now, this is actually really important in terms of communicating and connecting with your readers. Because with words, there are no visual cues. So it's all about connecting with them with words. So write like you're actually talking to them. Use simple words and language and use plain English, because simple words communicate much more effectively than big words. For example, you don't say, let me obtain that for you, you know, in normal language. So you say, let me get that for you. So you write like you talk. Use the word get, not obtain, for example. Technical jargon. You know, what you know may not necessarily mean that the reader will know that. So, and actually, in fact, you know, more often than not, the reader won't understand what technical jargon you're talking about. So avoid that at all costs. The only exception is if you're writing for a specific market and at least 90% of your readers will know what you're talking about, then yep, you can use some jargon, but generally the rule is no jargon, no acronyms. Acronyms you can use only if you set out the word itself and then with a bracket in the acronym, and then you can start using it afterwards. But make sure that you put it out in full first. Use first person. First person helps engage, and that helps you write like you talk. Lots of you and your, of course, because you're talking to the reader. Use I, we, us, etc. Not them, they. Colloquialisms are really good for writing like you talk. It just helps connect with the reader on a personal level. So at your fingertips, what are you waiting for? Get in touch, that kind of thing. Okay, more about that. Use contractions. You'll, that's, it's, can't. That's how we talk. We don't say you cannot do this. We say you can't do this. So write in that way. Now, blogs are slightly different in that it's coming personally from you. So inject some personality. It's okay to use, you know, exclamations and words like yep and wow and it's okay and that's right, and you know, use some humor in blogs as well, and you'll connect with your readers. I'm just showing you here a page from my blog where I'm writing about people getting banned on Facebook and some examples. So you can see my copy. I'm just pretty much writing as I'm talking. Okay, so it's a new year, hurrah, but for the last 10 years, blah, blah, blah. So I'm talking to the reader, and that seems to work quite well. Down below a little bit, I start talking about the actual article itself. Okay, the next point, get to the point. You know, with good copy, the fewer words you use, the easier it is to actually convey your message. And this is especially important for like web writing, because attention spans are much shorter on the web than it is in print. So always remember, less is more, and no rambling, please, because there's nothing worse than rambling in your copy. People will just switch off and move on. Okay, another way to help you get to the point is to use active tense. You know, active tense is when you're actually saying something in a direct manner rather than in an indirect manner, which is what you call passive tense. So the rule here is, you know, you look at active tense here. I wrote this article. It's much shorter, much more succinct, and much more to the point than this article was written by me. And the rule here is to use the subject before the verb. Okay, so active tense is the way to go. Okay, this is just an example of getting to the point. So before bit of copy here. There are various shopping portals that are there to help you when choosing the deal of your choice according to your taste and suitability of your budget. Instead, just go check out the different shopping channels to find the best deal for your taste and budget. So much simpler, so much more to the point. Okay, point 4, or principle 4, is to use short sentences. Now, again, less is more. Short sentences are so much easier to read than longer sentences. And, you know, so try and keep your sentences to sort of within 20 words if you can. If you must use long sentences, just maximum, I would say, of 50 words max, because then it's getting way too long. But make sure you actually break up your sentence, your big long sentence, with dashes and commas. And better still, chop your sentence in half into two, and, you know, put a full stop in between somewhere. 1 and 3 word sentences actually have the most punch, and it works really well in all sorts of copy. So here's just an example of short sentences, especially in the title. You can see here it's an Apple iPod here. The headline has 1 and 2 word sentences, and it works really well. The longest sentence in this here is here, and there's about, I think, 26 words, but you can see that they've broken it up with, you know, commas, and it actually flows quite well. Okay. And the last principle is to break up your copy. Now, this is really, really important for readability of your content. You know, nobody wants to read screeds and screeds and screeds of copy with no breaks in between. So use lots of descriptive subheadings. These are super important because not only do they break your copy up into chunks, but the reader can actually see at a glance what your copy is about just by reading your subheadings, and really important in web writing as well. Paragraphing is also important for breaking up your copy, to stop you rambling, I guess, as well. Just, you know, every sort of 2 or 3 sentences, try and get into a new paragraph after that, or just when the sentiment of the copy changes. But generally, 2 or 3 sentences and then a new para if you can. Bullet points and numbered lists are fantastic ways to actually draw attention to your key points. And these, again, are especially useful for web copy because people scan information, so the more bullet points you use, the more they can get straight to the point. I use a lot of bullet points and a lot of numbered lists in my copy. Now, graphics. I mean, you're a copywriter, so you don't really have control over the design of your copy, but you can actually leave placeholders to suggest where where the graphics should go. I mean, graphics actually always make copy look much better and make it more appealing to the reader. So don't be afraid to actually make suggestions to your graphic designer or to your client in terms of placeholders for copy. For graphics. Okay, so I'm just giving you another example here, another Apple one, because Apple do a really good job, of the iPad mini. So you can see here, Apple has used lots and lots of subheadings, very descriptive subheadings. So straight away you can see at a glance what the benefits are of this particular piece of copy. They've also used, of course, you know, chunking, so paragraphing and splitting up the copy, as you can see. And they've used bullet points here to highlight what's inside the box so that people can see straight at a glance what it's all about. So if you look at this, even if you come in, you know, you have to move on very quickly, so you come in for a second or two, you can actually see straight away what this copy is about. So very important, break up the copy, subheadings. Okay, so that was our 5 principles of good copy. Just make sure you follow these whenever you write copy and you're pretty much there. And here I'm just going to include 4 more tips, tricks of the trade. Okay, so the first trick that copywriters use is what I call flow words. I just made that up. At the beginning of sentences. Now, at school you were probably taught that these words such as and, but, and so, which are called conjunction, I think, in English, you're probably taught not to use these in the beginning of sentences and paragraphs, and just only to use them in the middle of sentences and paragraphs. Actually, in copywriting, we use them in the beginning all the time because it helps to connect the copy from one sentence to the next, and it helps it flow better. So here, I've just given you some example of flow words here. So it's like and, but, so, then, and then there's also plus, in fact, until now, that's why, which are kind of more copywriting type flow words. Okay, I've just got an example here of some copy I wrote a while ago for health insurance. So you can see here, we talk about your health is the most important asset you have. So it's vital to have the best level of care when you need it, not when waiting lists dictate. That's why, flow word, our Health Plus base plan covers you for hospital and surgical care first, because, another flow word, it's at these times that you need the highest level of care without having to worry about the cost of your care. Plus, another flow word, if you need extra cover, you can add other plans to your base plan too. Here's how it works, and it goes on. So you can see how powerful flow words are for actually connecting the copy and making it flow. Okay, the next trick of the trade is to use one sentence paragraphs. Now, this is a trick I use reasonably often as well, because it actually works really well to actually emphasize a point. And also it sort of provides a change of pace, kind of just to liven up the copy a little bit. Just don't overuse it, because then the emphasis becomes, I guess, a bit watered down. So here you can see the example. I've written a brief passage saying copywriting is a skill that many people find hard to grasp, but it is possible to get good at it. You just need to know the tricks of the trade and put in some practice. And that's where I come in, because that's where the emphasis is. Okay. Okay, the third trick of the trade is to just avoid wishy-washy words, like strive, aim, and endeavor. I mean, these words are actually meaningless, and actually makes you come across as a little bit false and a bit try-hard. And a lot of amateur copywriters actually use these words. So I've given you an example here. We strive to provide you with the highest level of customer service. I mean, this in itself is very cliched. Why not turn it into something that talks to the reader and tells what you will do, not what you strive to do? We always go the extra distance to make you happy. Much better, isn't it? Okay, and the last trick of the trade is to use emotive words, because emotive words actually create an emotional response from your reader, and that's what you want, because it helps you to connect with them. And it can also be helpful for being persuasive with your copy as well. So I've just got you a couple of examples here of emotive words. Sickness can come at any time. That's pretty boring and pretty sort of ho-hum. Sickness can strike at any time. I mean, that, if you're talking about, say, a health insurance product, it's like, oh, wow, yeah, it can strike me. Oh my goodness. So just think, newspaper headlines and sensationalism, that actually does work. Here's another example. The crowd ran to the door. Oh, did they run to the door? Oh, that's really exciting. Not. But after, the crowd stampeded to the door. Wow, that sounds much more exciting, doesn't it? So emotive words actually do work well. Right, here's an exercise for you, the first exercise that we're going to do. For this copy here, I'd like you to just sort of use some of the rules that I've just given you, or some of the principles that I've just given you, and try and turn it into customer-centric copy. Remember the rules of, it's all about the customer, all about the reader, lots of you, short sentences, using emotive words, that sort of thing. Can we give Jan, are you there?
Yep, I'm here.
Can we allow, say, 5 minutes?
Yep.
To do
Okay,
this?
so yep, for the audience, first of all, we would like a volunteer or two. This is really good for you guys now to engage or participate with us. So can I get one or two brave souls out there? Just raise your hand so that you can show your work for this exercise. And I'm looking through the list. Don't be shy. There's no right or wrong. This is why we're doing this.
Yeah, and 5 minutes, to be honest, is not a very long time to actually turn some copy around. So, this is just an exercise to help you start thinking about the principles and start putting on the copywriter's hat, in terms of thinking about, how you actually put copy together. That's the whole purpose, is that, we're not going to judge you by the end copy because it
Yep.
does normally take longer than 5 minutes.
Okay, so Graham obviously is raising his hand.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Hi,
Okay,
Graham.
one from New Zealand. We have a big group, a chunk of group from the Freelance Writers Guild of the Philippines. So I expect at least one of you guys to be brave. Seriously, let's represent the Philippines, shall we? Just one. while the rest are trying to do this exercise. And if you have any questions, of course, please don't be shy. This is your chance to actually, ask our expert speaker, Lily, anything. If that went on too fast, let us know as well. And of course, we would also like to invite you guys on Twitter. Please join us in our conversation. Hubert from France, our Chief Engagement Officer, is on standby and monitoring. I would love to talk to you and meet up with you as well. I don't want to start calling people. What do you think, Lily?
I'd love to see what Graham's written or has to write as well. So that's great. I mean, it doesn't matter if everyone's a bit shy. That's okay as well. I understand.
Right. Okay. So I'm gonna start the clock for 5 minutes for the guys. Naomi, perfect. We have Naomi.
Yay. Thank you, Naomi.
Okay.
Sounds
Um,
fantastic.
so while we wait, while the guys are trying to rewrite this one, Andrew, by the way, mentioned something, a comment when you were discussing flow words.
Yes.
He did say that increasingly authors now doing this also. Any thoughts on
Oh,
that?
as well, not just copywriters. That's great, Andrew. Thank you for that.
Yep.
I'm glad to
Okay.
hear, actually.
Oh, okay. Andrew, and I don't know if you're doing the exercise right now, or would you want to say anything else? We can actually open your mic if it's working, just to fill in the time while the rest of the guys are working on their stuff. Just let us know through the chat box. Okay, hang on. Naomi, by the way, I just want to check before we open Andrew's mic. Is your mic working so you'll be able to give your work to present your work to Lily? And just let me know through the chat box. We will open Andrew. Hi, Andrew. Thanks for joining us.
Hello, Andrew.
Yes, hello. You can hear me all right?
Hi. Yes, very well.
That's great.
Nice.
Really enjoyed your presentation. I think you covered the points very succinctly, and having written copy myself professionally, and also working these days more as a writer and less of a copywriter, I completely related to everything. There was one point just to emphasize that you had earlier, which I thought was another feature. I think it was about the second or third slide,
Yep.
where you broke the paragraph up into 3 paragraphs. And one of the things I notice, because obviously when you're writing emails all the time, you're using your own style. And I find the number of people that write emails to me in ways that are very sort of convoluted, and you can adapt these principles that you've been talking about over the last 20 minutes just into your day-to-day work, and it significantly improves your communication. I mean, you'll be amazed at how easily people can actually read your emails if you actually produce them in a way that makes them more readable. So all of these principles can be applied, in whatever writing you're doing, whether it be writing copy or just simply writing emails.
That is so true, Andrew. I totally agree with you. I think, like you were talking about breaking it up and using flow words in that, for sure, for sure. Even in, if you have to write a report, I still think that, a lot can be said about writing reports that are in plain English.
Very, very true, and I also completely buy into your principle, and I think it's something that people can do more often. Is use conversation as the basis for for your writing style. So
Definitely.
have a conversation with yourself as you're writing, and you can turn that into copy really effectively. And it's a
Exactly.
it's often amazing how better it sounds or flows,
Yeah.
simply because you're doing it that way, rather than sitting there with kind of writer's block thinking, what am I going to write? Start having a conversation with yourself, and
Yes,
the writing will flow.
definitely, definitely. I totally agree.
Mm.
Couldn't agree more there, Andrew. That's fantastic.
Copywriters unite.
Yes,
Yeah.
I would high five you now if I could.
Andrew could probably raise his virtual hand and you can try to touch it with your mouse. I don't know, that's
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
weird.
I mean, this is I mean, I can't. Can you still see my screen? I can't.
Yes.
I still can't see that little box at the side. So, but
Hmm.
that's okay. You
Okay,
can
all
you can
right.
tell me what's going on. Okay.
Yep. Okay. Thank you, Andrew, by the way. And Andrew, before I unmute your mic, maybe you would like to just briefly introduce yourself, like a sentence or two, to everyone in the room.
Yeah, sure. So I work both as a writer and a broadcaster in New Zealand. I have my own weekly radio program, and I write a couple of columns a week, specializing in business. But I have sort of a wide range of interests, in that space. And I'm always a critique of good copy. Love reading great copy and admiring the skill and the art that goes into it. And it's one of those things that people can learn and can really turn to their advantage. I think everybody has the potential to be potentially a very good copywriter. So it's not one of those skills that are restricted to a few.
It's just
Okay.
about practice, practice, practice,
Mm.
practice, and knowing the principles. I think, isn't it?
Absolutely. Well, I mean, once you have them and you keep applying them, then you just get better and better at this stuff.
Yes, for
Mm.
sure.
Okay. Well, thank you very much again, Andrew. And I will mute your mic for now.
Thank you.
And thank you.
Fine.
All right, so we will move to Naomi. The thing is, Lily, she doesn't have a working mic, so what I'll do is I sent it to your questions box or control panel,
Hang on. I'm going to have to cut out of this now. Sorry, guys. I know this is a screen share because I've got a Mac, but I'm going to have to cut out of it to see the box. Okay.
or you can do okay, no worries. There you go. Just click
Um,
on just click on the orange flower, Lily, the
the
petal
orange,
flower.
which one?
Yep, the one at the bottom at your taskbar. Yep.
That one? No. Flower?
If you go to your taskbar at the bottom,
Oh, here. Sorry, that one. Okay.
yep, it should
Yep.
appear. Yep, and then you can
Yeah.
go on full screen mode again.
It didn't work last time. No, I think it's Open Office that I'm using. It's not working. So,
Okay, if you don't mind, I will actually just voice out her answer, and if you can give your comments,
okay, go
will
for
that
it.
work? Okay,
I
so
can,
Neil,
otherwise I can look at it from here. I can look at it here. That's fine. I can see it once, but I have to get out of my full screen. Sorry, guys.
no worries. There you go. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Uh, please return the. That's pretty good there, Naomi. Um, because you're using you. If you're not happy with a product, I would use your, which is the contraction, rather than you are. Please return the original product within 30 days together with. That's short, succinct. It's actually really good. Um, yep, great. Very, very short, succinct, well said. Um, got the comma in the right place, and you've basically said everything. So that's great. That's great.
Okay, and
Well
I
done
just
there, Naomi.
well done. And I just shared to the audience so at least everyone knows or can refer to what Naomi actually has written. Can we do one more, Lily, before we move to
Yes,
Graham?
yes, Graham.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, before we do that, Christina, I know you placed something. Can you just raise your hand if your mic is actually working so that it's better that we can hear your voice? And I'm looking. And Naomi, of course, says, thanks, Lily, with a smiley.
Oh, you've
Cute.
done very well, Naomi.
Okay, Christina, I'm just giving you a few more seconds just in case you have a working mic. We would love to hear your voice. Okay, no raising. Okay, so this Christina has written, Lily. I will actually I'll send it to the audience so that you can see it as well. There you
Okay.
go.
Yep. Case we're not satisfied with this product. Okay. it says, in case you're not satisfied with this product, you can return it within 30 days. Just keep it in its original condition and present the proof of purchase. Isn't that cool? Oh, I love that. It's quite neat if you can personalize it, and I think it's great that you've done that. In case you're not satisfied with this product, you can return it within 30 days. Just keep it in. That's actually pretty good. I see you've used contractions there. You've used short sentences, which is fantastic. And then you've used just keep it in its original condition, which is a very friendly way of actually putting it, you know, in terms of saying what you need to say. I think that's good as well. The only thing about isn't it cool? I think it's great to put some personality in it. It just depends on the situation, I guess. You know, if in case you're not satisfied, just present it. Isn't it cool? I think you could probably use that actually. I'm just wondering, you know, if it's talking about returning a product, whether you want to say, "Isn't it cool?" But then it's actually a good service that you're offering. So yeah, I think that's really good. Well done, Christina. Very well done.
Perfect. Okay. Well, you know what's happening, Lily? Now that
Yes.
people are getting feedback from you, we now have brave souls actually giving out. That's fantastic, actually.
That's great.
I'm happy. Okay, let's go to Jen, Ben, or Graham, and we'll open his mic. Hang on. Hey, Graham. Thanks for joining us. Go right
Hi,
ahead.
Graham.
Hi, how you going?
Oh, very well. How are you?
I'm good. You don't know me, but you do, yes.
I can hear myself. There's feedback there, but carry on.
So what's happening? I've just typed in what another approach.
Yes, I can't see it.
Oh, can you?
Have you put it in,
Well,
Jen?
I pasted it in a moment ago.
Put it in the chat.
Yep, there it is. I just typed it in.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So if you're not happy with the product, so I think you're not happy is more likely to be what somebody would actually say to someone.
Rather than unhappy, yep.
Yeah.
If you're not happy, yep, that's good.
Just
You can
needs to be
return it.
unused. Yeah, just needs to be unused, and you'll need to include your proof of purchase.
Yep, no, I like that because with using the word unused as well, I think that's really plain English. So that's great. That's it. That's fantastic. And you've used contractions, which is great. Short sentences, fantastic. It just needs to be unused, and you'll need to include your proof of purchase. Great. That's, I mean, it says everything, and it's, you know, very plain English, easy to understand. Yep, fantastic. Well done, Graham. Are you still there?
I've got a good teacher.
Thank you. Oh, that's great.
Okay. Sorry, I had to mute your mic, Graham, only because there's feedback.
Yeah, there is a lot of feedback.
Yep. So Lily, I will defer to you. There is one more answer from Bernice.
Okay.
Or if you would like to move on to your slides, let me know.
How are we doing with time, Jan? We're only probably about a third of the way through. Hello.
And of course, I was talking on mute. Apologies. 20 before 7 New Zealand time. So,
Okay.
yep.
Should we just do Bernice and then we'll move on?
Okay. All right. Let me do one more. Okay. This is Bernice. Sorry about that.
Okay. You may return the productee within 30 days of proof of purchase. Product must be in original condition. That's good with the short sentences there, Bernice. You may using the you is great. Within 30 days with proof of purchase. Product must be in. Okay, I could probably jazz it up a little bit, make it a little bit more friendly. So you're talking about, so you put it more in sort of plain English, where you've got product must be in original condition. That's kind of not quite friendly enough that I would use it for, you know, for my copy. But if you could turn it around and just say product must be You may return the product within 30 days with proof of purchase. You could even just say, but it must be in original condition, for example. You know, just to make it link. At the moment, it's kind of not quite linking so well. But I think it's good that you're using the you. I think that's great with the short sentences. And you've said pretty much everything there. I would just watch the typo, because we've got here product T, and also 30 days should be 2 words. So that's another thing that I'm going to talk about later on, is in terms of proofreading, that it's actually really important. It's actually part of writing writing good copy as well. So that's a really good job there, Bernice. I would just sort of make it flow a little bit better with maybe using some of those flow words that I just talked about a bit earlier. Okay. So, all right, now I'm just going to move on, if that's all right, Jan.
Go right ahead. Thank you, Lily.
That's okay. I'm just going to get back onto my, there we go. Can we all see that? I hope you can see that. So I'm just going to just show you my version of that as well, so that you can kind of see. So my version is, don't love this product, simply bring it back to us in its original condition within 30 days along with the receipt, and we'll give you a full refund, no questions asked. I mean, there's so many different ways of writing it. That's just the way that I've chosen to do it. Now that I've seen what Graham's done, and I think you said unused condition, or if it's still unused within 30 days, that's actually a really cool way of writing it. So well done, Graham, for that. Okay. So the next part of our presentation is about the writing process. Now this is where we actually, it's quite in depth here, so it's where we actually get into the chunky part of it. So the writing process, there are 4 parts to it. You have to research. The first stage is to research. Every copywriter does a lot of research before they actually start writing. I will go through each of these in more detail in a minute. You also have to dissect your product, because you have to, to sell a product, you have to know what it's about. And I'm not just talking about a physical product either. I'm talking about a service as well, or even a topic for an article. So when I say product, I'm using it in the whole sense of the word, okay? Then the third stage is actually to put it all together, so to actually do the actual writing. And then, like I was just saying before, about breaking, editing, and proofreading, that is just as important to actually get copy written well, okay? So the first stage is research. Lots and lots of research. First one is research your customers. I mean, the first thing you have to find out who your customers are, because they are actually the people that you're actually writing to, so your copy has to appeal to them. So you need to know who they are. The thing is, people are actually selfish, and they only want to know what's in it for them, and they only want to know how your product will benefit them and how it will solve their problems. So you really have to know who they are. People will often say, but my customers are the public. Well, that's actually not specific enough, because you actually have to target your readers, because everybody's different. I'll just give you an example. Say an 18-year-old male, say, who's just left school. He's going to have totally different beliefs and behaviors, and also needs, than a 45-year-old mother of 3, for example. So I'm just going to say, say if your product is like breakfast cereal, right? The 18-year-old, he's not going to care about nutrition as much as the 45-year-old mother of 3 would. You see what I'm talking about? Totally different needs, totally different purposes. So if you're writing about breakfast cereal, for the 18-year-old, you would stress the benefits of, it being quick, easy, and tasty, and grab it on the go. Those are the benefits for the 18-year-old. Whereas for the 45-year-old mother of 3, you're going to stress the nutritional factor, aren't you? And also the convenience of having it all prepared for the children, so it's quick as well. So different needs, different audiences. That's why you need to do your research on your readers. So how do you do that? There are lots of ways to research your readers. If, of course, if you've already got existing customers, then just ask them. Do surveys, ask them in emails or Facebook. There are ways to actually do that. Offer them an incentive, and you'll be surprised at how many people want to actually give an opinion. Also, Google your competitors. Your competitors will set out their products in a certain way and communicate with their customers in a certain way. Just see how they are communicating with their customers. You might be surprised in terms of what you might learn from actually Googling your competitors. Also, Amazon, as you know, is you know, the biggest online store in the world. So go onto Amazon, check, you know, search by topic or by product, and just check what their customers are actually saying about the products, and what, you know, what reviews they're actually giving. That will give you a good insight into who your customers or readers are. Other popular online stores, you know, you might have some local ones. Also forums. Forums are great because people are always telling other people about their problems on forums and wanting them resolved. So just Google forum, the word forum, and then your topic, and then you'll see a list of all the different forums that you can actually go into. Even go into a forum and ask a question yourself, and do some research yourself with people who are your target readers and target customers. You'll be surprised at what you can find out. If you're a copywriter, and it doesn't sound like we have that many on board, but just ask your client, because your client's going to have tons of information about the readers. Well, I hope they're going to, about their target customers. So ask them, and also grab, you know, all past material that they've used in the past, and what works and what doesn't work. That helps with your research as well. Okay, the next thing you have to research about is, of course, your product. You know, what does a product entail? And I'm talking about, like I say, the physical product, a service, or a topic for an article. What's it about? You've got to research it and find out everything that's about it. You know, if you're selling an actual physical product and it's a third-party product, see what other people are talking about, you know, about that product and how they actually promote it as well. Does your product have, you know, service level? Does it have backup? You know, does it have a periphery products that comes with your product? For example, you know, my iPhone syncs with my iPad and my MacBook Pro, and that's a real benefit for Apple. So they promote those as, you know, going together. So find out what your product's about. Also your competitors, you know, what are your competitors up to? You know, as part of your research, by finding out who your competitors are and what they're up to, actually lets you differentiate yourself from them. I mean, you're competing against them, and so you want to actually be a bit different. And so do research on your competitors, find out who they are, find out how they're selling their products, find out how they're talking to their customers, so just so that you can differentiate yourself, and we'll talk a bit more about that later. So, okay, find out who they are, what their product range is, how they're similar, different to you, how do they communicate with their customers, and what they're up to. Okay, so those are the 4 things that you actually need to find out about with regards to your competitors. Okay, the next stage is to dissect your product. And that means chunking down to what the features and benefits are, and your unique selling point, which is the point of difference in terms of over your competitors, which is what we've just talked about then. Okay, so let's get to features and benefits. A lot of people get confused in terms of what the difference is between features and benefits, so I'm just going to tell you very quickly now what the difference is. Features, they're actually the descriptive facts of the products. So they're things like specifications, you know, like the size and color. So it's the physical facts of the product. There are materials and ingredients. They're like quality. Is it made in China, or is it made in the USA? The quantity, how many is in a box, for example. Price, do you offer a good price? Is it a, you know, do you have discounts? And what sort of service levels, you know, have your opening hours, for example. So just the physical descriptive facts of the products, that's what features are. Now benefits, that's different. That's the advantages that the reader or the customer will get from the product, or the features of the product. So whenever you think about benefits, think, how will the product solve a problem for the customer, and how will the customer feel when using this product? These are all the benefits, the good things that the customer is going to get from using your product. Okay, so that's the difference. Now I'm just going to use an example here that I did up a while ago. So it's a kids dive mask and snorkel set. So if you look at the features, the mask, the features are tempered safety glass lens, wide skirt and strap, double-edged skirt, quick release buckle system, and low air volume. These are all basically the features, so the physical facts of the products. The benefits, however, tempered safety glass lens, it doesn't, you know, the lens doesn't break, so that's a benefit because it means it's safer for the kids, and it gives them better vision. Wide skirt and strap, it gives them more comfort. Double-edged skirt, there are no leaks, so it's more safety and comfort. There's a quick release buckle system, which is great for the parents because it means a convenience of actually putting the mask on and taking it off quickly, and it's also a safety factor. Low air volume, which means there's less intake of water. which is a good thing as well, and it's a safety thing. The snorkel, silicone mouthpiece, is the feature. The benefit of the silicone mouthpiece is that it's comfortable and it stops water entering. The feature of the snorkel, angled clear connector for unobstructed airflow, it makes it easier to breathe, a great benefit. A purge valve, it just gets rid of water quickly. So you see the difference between features and benefits there. Okay, in terms of for an article on, say, how to write a blog, right? In terms of features for an article, I mean, there are not as many features because it's, you know, the article is the feature basically. So here I've got 9 tips and tricks on blog writing. That's the feature. So the benefit of people reading this article is, of course, the ability to write better blogs. And if they write better blogs, that means they get more traffic to their blog. And what does more traffic mean? It means more opportunities to convert to sales. So those are the benefits. They want to make money on their blog, so they want their blog to convert to sales, and that's why they want to read your article. Okay, right, so the unique selling point. Now this, like I mentioned before, is your point of difference from your competitors. It needs to, you know, your USP is the reason why people will come to you and not your competitors. And you need to find that, and usually that could be actually the biggest benefit of your product, or it could be something else that you might find that sets you apart from your competitors. So here I'm just going to show you a little bit about how, to give you some ideas on how you can actually find your own USP. So one way is you can actually find a little known benefit that nobody knows about. For example, you know, M&Ms, for example, their USP is melts in your mouth, not in your hands. Obviously, they found that, you know, chocolate is chocolate, and some people during their research obviously found it a pain that chocolate melted in your hands. So that becomes their USP because it doesn't melt in your hand. Clever. So just find something that is a little bit unknown or that no one else is promoting and use it as your USP. The second way you can do that is to use your personality, especially if you're a small business owner and you've got a big personality. You know, for example, like in New Zealand, we've got a chain of butchery stores called the Mad Butcher. Now, the USP there is basically the owner of the business, who is Peter Leach, and he's got a huge personality. So he's known as the Mad Butcher, and everything that he does, his personality comes out. On my own blog, I am my USP. I'm the online marketing rookie, in a way. So that's using your personality to be your USP is actually a good way if you've got personality. Specialize in a customer type. So, you know, if you've got like a web design company, for example, you know, web design companies, how do you set yourself apart from other web design companies? Right. Think of a customer type. If you do a lot of web design for, say, restaurants, for example, you could become a web design company specifically for restaurants. That could be your USP, right? Or, you know, if you've got a hair product, for example, your USP could be hair gel for teenage hair, you know, a specific customer type that can actually set you apart from your competitors. Again, also with skill or topic. So instead of just being a web designer, you could also be a web designer that specialized in animations. The animation experts, for example, that could be your USP. So these are just some ideas on how you can find your USP. So actual examples here. With Domino's Pizzas, you get fresh hot pizza delivered to your door in 30 minutes or less, or it's free. Obviously, they did some research and people felt that pizzas took too long to get to their door. So they created a USP that it's going to be less than 30 minutes. So it's going to be fast, great, or it's free, which backs up the claim that, you know, we can do it in 30 minutes. Fantastic, works really well. The M&M's one, melts in your hand, in your mouth, not in your hand. UPS, when the package absolutely positively has to get there overnight. I mean, we all, you know that couriers aren't always the most efficient or the most reliable. So USP found this USP to work because it means that, you know, they're the people that are going to get there overnight. And how successful are they? Now, the last one, Facebook. I just put that one together for an article, how to set up your Facebook page in just 10 minutes. Now, why is this a USP? Everybody knows how, you know, knows how to set up a Facebook page, and there's so many articles around about how to set up a Facebook page. Now, the USP is in just 10 minutes. How many people can show you how to set up a Facebook page in 10 minutes? No one's got time. It's pretty cool, isn't it? Okay, so that's how USPs work. Now I'm just going to show you a product copy example, putting all of that into action. Okay, so going back to the kids dive mask and snorkel set, I identified that the target readers are young parents, generally with children 10 years and under, because it's for kids, right? Dive mask and snorkel. They're New Zealanders, because this will be for a New Zealand website. Mid to high income I am actually looking at, because this is an online store, so people who are shopping online generally have better income, you know, at least a mid kind of income level. And the readers are parents who actually enjoys the water and outdoors, and they want their kids to actually enjoy it as well. Okay, so we've identified the target readers. So what problem will this solve for the reader? Oh, it means that their kids will actually enjoy getting into the water. How cool is that? That's what they want, isn't it? So in terms of the USP, when I looked at this, I looked at the competitors, and everybody just talked about the products. Nobody actually talked about the experience of actually kids loving the experience of actually snorkeling. So that's going to be the USP. One, the parents would want them to love getting in the water. So this USP will work well in terms of you know, identifying with the reader's needs of wanting to get their kids into water. So here's the copy here. So you can see up here, I've started first with the USP. Your kids will love the experience of snorkeling, and with the right gear, they'll want to do it again and again. That's what parents want. Then we get into the product. The dive mask, the Pro Dive Kids Mask and Snorkel set has been specifically designed with the little ones in mind. Specially designed, I should say, sorry, specifically or specially designed works very well in copy, because it means, again, that it's been designed specifically for that whichever target audience, right? So that could actually kind of, you know, it's a kids set, so it's designed for kids, but you could kind of use it as a USP if it's a normal dive set, for example. Now we talk about the products and using bullet points, because it's straight to the point. The mask comes with a double-edged skirt for leak-free fit on little faces, a wide rubber strap for comfort, impact resistance, tempered glass lens for safer, clearer vision, and a quick release buckle for convenience and safety. You may recall the benefits are all here, right? So we talk about the features and then the benefits. Again, I've done the same for the snorkel set, comfortable silicone mouthpiece designed to stop water entering, as well as a clear angled connector for unobstructed airflow, making breathing easy. So again, those are the features and the benefits. You don't have to use all the benefits, every single benefit in your copy, just pick ones that suit. But the general rule is, if you could talk about the feature first, the double-edged skirt, for leak-free fit, then the benefit, wide rubber strap for comfort, so feature, benefit, feature, benefit, feature, benefit. That generally works quite well in product copy. Plus, here we go, flow word. This mask and snorkel set comes with its own unique, its own mesh drawstring bag. It will soon become a kiddie favorite, and they won't want to go to the beach without it. This is the closing. It will soon become a kiddie favorite, and they won't want to go to the beach without it. It's actually repeating the USP, right? About wanting the kids to actually go into the water. See how that works? Cool. So the next example I've got is article copy in action. So the same sort of thing, the article, how to write a blog, how to write for a blog. The target readers identified as small business owners in the digital field, because it's about writing a blog, so they'll be in the digital field. Less than 1 year's experience, because they're learning how to set up a blog and write for one, so less than 1 year's experience. Newbies, and the desire to make money online. They also read everything, so your headline has to stand out so that it's a USP, so they need to know how it benefits them. Okay, so what problem will it solve for the reader? Of course, get more visitors and more conversions, which means more money, and that's what they want, isn't it? So unique selling proposition, unique selling point, you can say it both ways. Blog copy that converts. It's not actually writing blog copy, but the fact that it actually converts is actually the USP for this one. So here we go, the features and benefits again. Again, the benefits are to get more traffic, which means more opportunity to convert into sales. So here's an example that I've written up here. So you see the headline, that's the USP. So 9 brilliant ways to write blog posts that convert. That's the USP there in itself, that convert, okay? So when people see that, they're going to go, oh, okay, I want blog posts that convert, so I'm going to read this, right? So they click in and they read it. So you've got a blog and you're getting a steady stream of visitors. That's empathizing with the reader. That's fantastic, making them feel comfortable. But how many of these visitors are actually signing up to your email list or actually buying off you, right? That's actually, again, stating the problem, right? And asking them the question, oh, actually, that's the problem. If your answer is none or not many, you're answering it for them, then chances are your blog posts aren't doing a good enough job of converting your visitors. So that's their problem again, right? But here you're going to resolve their problem by showing them 9 different and brilliant ways that they can write blog posts that convert. So you see how that works, and then it goes, the article then goes into the detail of it. Okay. Right, another exercise. Now that we've just gone through the features and benefits and the USP, I'd like you to, out of this list of 5, pick out the benefits of these portable speakers. Jan, are you there?
I am. Yep.
Hello. Now, you're going to do a poll for these guys?
Yep, for them to answer.
Yes, so identify the benefits of these portable speakers. These are just to help you sort of figure out the difference between features and benefits. There could be 1 or more benefits in that list.
And it is now showing on everyone's screen. So all you have to do, guys, is just choose as many. Actually, you can have multiple answers. It's definitely more than 1. So if you could do that right now, and we'll give you just a few minutes, like probably a minute or 2. About 27% of the audience have voted at this point. Again,
Right.
you can choose more than 1, not just 1 answer. Are we giving them a hint, Lily, or let them choose?
Nah, let them choose.
It's
okay.
Okay, they're still
Hope
thinking.
that's all right, guys.
Yeah, they're still thinking. So identify the benefits of the portable speakers. It's interesting if you can see it right now. Everyone is just choosing 1 answer. Guys, there is more than 1 answer. That's the hint.
And it's a good break too, because that was a very, very chunky part of the presentation actually.
Yep. So guys, everyone in the room, only 55, 64. There you go. Grace, I know you've typed it into the question box. If you could just click on that poll, the multiple choice, you'll be able to actually choose that so that we can see your answer as well. Almost there, guys, 73%, about 20 more seconds, and then we can show the results
Great.
to Lily. Yeah. There are, I want to give the number, but nah.
Yeah.
Okay, a few more seconds and we're closing it, and not all of them actually answered.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay, and these are their answers.
Okay, hang on. I'm just going to get out of my screen, okay, so I can see it. Sorry about this.
Cool.
Let's have a look. Ooh. Now, where do I go to have a look there, Jam? Sorry, do I click on that?
There
Oh,
is
here we go. Found it. Found it. Found it. Found it.
Okay.
Okay. Ah, this is actually interesting. And some of this is actually my fault, actually. Apologies for that, because a lot of you have actually put down excellent sounds, fantastic. That is right. But a lot of you actually put down remote control as because I can kind of see what you mean by that. I should have actually said a remote control unit. So not that it runs by remote control, but by that I mean it's like the remote control unit, so that they can actually use this little system to change the volume and stuff from afar, if you know what I mean. Okay. That's actually very interesting. Okay, I'm just going to go back to mine now, and I'm just going to show you. Those are the two benefits. Because basically, made in Germany, of course, no one guessed that one, so that's great. That's a feature, right? Remote control is actually a feature because it actually is the remote control, physical remote control panel, is what I meant by remote control. But I can see how you can think that it's actually could be a benefit, but it's actually not. It's actually a feature. Excellent sounds, yes, everybody, a lot of you guys got that right. Fold up speakers, yes, that's a feature, but top quality is actually a benefit because it's not actually a descriptive fact of the actual product itself. So top quality is actually a benefit. So when you talk about, you know, it's made in Germany, so it's actually very high quality, if you get where I'm coming from. Okay. So that was fun, wasn't it?
Okay,
Okay.
Lily, sorry, before
Yeah.
you move on to your
Yep.
next section, we do
Yes.
have a question from
Oh,
Christina
okay.
about
Hang on. I'm just going to get
research,
out of here.
research, research.
Okay.
Um,
Um,
Let me just read it to you. Sorry about that. Oops, and the phone is ringing. Sorry about that. So Christina asks, how will we know if we've researched enough? Is there like a checklist that you can give them? And how do you know that you've gathered enough
enough
information or
information.
data? Yep.
Um, I guess, I mean, what I normally do is I do a whole heap of research to start with, and then if I haven't got enough, I mean, do as much as you feel comfortable in terms of how much you know, as long as you kind of can identify who your readers are, for example, in terms of those categories that I gave you, in terms of, you know, like demographics, and oh, I didn't do, did I? So demographics, you know, their location and what their likes and dislikes and that sort of thing. As long as you kind of get enough of a picture of who your readers are, for example, so that you can actually write for them, then that's enough. Do you know what I mean? And if it's your product, then you just need to know enough about it that you can actually write to put in enough benefits that's actually going to get the reader to actually to buy from you, or, you know, get the reader to do what you want them to do. And often I will do a whole heap of research in the beginning, and then I will do my writing. And during my writing, if I find, oh, actually I'm lacking in this, because as you're writing, you will find that as you're forming your words, you'll go, oh, okay, I think I need a bit more information about this. Then you will go back and look for it. Does that answer your question?
And Christina, just you can type in case you have a follow-up question or if that's good for you. While we wait, actually, Lily, you can definitely move on. Oh, we do have one more from Naomi.
Okay.
She says, I feel affirmed that Lily included research as part of the process of writing. I am quite disappointed with clients who downplay the role of research in writing. They think you can write from scratch and are not willing to
Totally.
pay the price for research. That's her
Totally.
comment.
That's very, very true. Usually when I talk to a client, I always include in my pricing research time, and I explain to them. It's just a matter of actually explaining to them that it's actually crucial to actually include research time. And I usually include, you know, 2 to 3 hours, because that's generally how long it takes. By the time you start, you know, depending on how much they give you as well. So you can actually tell them that, you know, if they can give you more information, then you probably do less research. Yeah, that's just what happens, unfortunately.
All right. Okay. Thank
Okay.
you, ladies, and you can
All
move
right.
on.
Okay. So, all right. Now is another chunky part of the presentation is actually putting all of that together and writing the actual content. Okay. So there are 4 parts to your actual copy. There's like, first part is the headline, second part is the opening, third part is a body copy, and the fourth part is a call to action. I'm going to go through each of these in detail now. Oh, but before I do that, I just want to make a reminder, because this is so important, to always, when you're writing copy, always keep the reader in mind. Always think, what problem does the reader have, and how can I solve it, and what are the benefits for the reader? So whenever you're writing, always keep that in mind, okay? It's just so important. Okay, the headline. Now, on average, 5 times as many people read the headline as the body copy. This came from David Ogilvy of Ogilvy and Mather fame. Now it's Ogilvy and Mather, but back then, 1960s advertising guru. And this is so true, because the headline is the most important part of your content, right? You know, the reason it's most important is because people look at the headline, and if it doesn't actually catch them, then they're not going to read any more of your content, right? So you need to spend at least 30% of your writing time on your headline. What I usually do is I'll write the headline, just a placeholder in the headline, so I can get the angle of the copy. Then I'll write the copy, and then I'll go back and I'll rewrite the headline probably several times, ponder over it, and before I'm happy with it, before I actually publish it. It's so important. If your headline's not catchy enough, it's not attention grabbing enough, if it's not going to grab your customers or your readers, then they're not going to read your content, okay? So, 5 keys to a good headline. The first key is brevity, very important. The more brief, the better, as in all copy. Fewer words are better. I say up to 10 words, max if you can, because with brevity, people can see at a glance what your headline's about or what your article's about, okay? The more words you have, the more cluttered it's going to get, so keep it brief. Secondly, the clincher. This is what I call the clincher, but it basically means the one thing that will drive people to actually read your article or your content. Usually there'll be the biggest benefit that they're going to get from your product, or from reading your content, or it could possibly be, you know, their biggest issue even, because that's going to grab them, isn't it? So it's the clincher, the one thing that's going to grab them. Third key is trigger words. Trigger words are basically power words that trigger the reader to actually read more. You know, people like things that are free, they like things that are easy, they like things that are guaranteed. So include these trigger words. There are a whole heap of them, and I'll show you more. There's more in my ebook. But include these trigger words, and they're going to get people looking, and you're going to get their attention. Fourth one I call attention grabbers. They are also power words, but they are more sort of words that, you know, adjectives like, you know, powerful and skyrocket, you know, skyrocket your income and brilliant, and those kind of words, they grab attention as well. And the fifth one seems very basic, but it's quite important. To make your headline stand out from the crowd, use title case, because title case works as standout a lot better than lowercase. And you can see even here, I've used title case throughout. If they were in lowercase, they wouldn't sort of shout out as you as much. Now, as part of this webinar, to thank you for actually coming along, I'm giving you my headline writing guide for free. And in it, it tells you the 5 keys, which I've just covered here, but in more detail, and gives you a whole heap of examples. And it also sets out 7 powerful headline techniques that you can actually use now and apply them to the 5 keys to killer headlines as well. And the bonus, and this is the best thing, is it comes with 72 fill in the blanks headline templates that you can use straight away. Just fill in the gaps. So you will get that at the end of this webinar, I believe. And that's to you free as my gift, as my gift to you. Okay, so we've just done headlines. The second part of your copy is the opening, and what a lot of copywriters call the hook. And you know, the reason it's called the hook is because you're supposed to hook people in. So you grab the attention by having a compelling headline. People have clicked on it, or they're reading your copy. Now they're reading your opening paragraphs, right? And so the aim is to get them reading the rest of your content, and that's why it's the hook. And it needs to be interesting, and it needs to be compelling to draw readers in. Okay. So how do you write a compelling opening paragraph? For product sales page, I mean, this is just ideas on how you do it. Product sales page and brochures, because it's all about selling the product or service, the key here is to stress the benefit, right? The key benefits of your products in your opener. You want people to go, wow, this sounds like a great product, I want to know more about it. So there are ways to actually do this, and one way could be like, testimonials, or using successful case studies, or, you could be showing, how many people have actually used it, because if people know that other people are using the product, then they're more likely to use it, aren't they? So those are some ways. For articles, they're a little bit different because they're kind of sharing information and not doing the hard sell. So the opening should ideally contain a summary of the key messages, just to give the readers a taste of what's to come. A good way to start an article would be also to include a compelling fact, like, for example, an article on Twitter. So how to use Twitter. You could actually start the opener with, the fact that Twitter has over 200 million users, which is a massive fact. For newbies, that's like, oh wow, I must join because it's so amazing. See where I'm coming from? Okay, blog posts and emails. Now they are different again because they're coming from you and they're sort of more personal. So weave a story. In my blog posts, I always weave a story about how I came up with the topic of the content. And they seem to work very well. Emails, you can do the same as well. Weave a story and it becomes more personal. So here I've just given you an example of a sales page here. Now Xenical is a weight loss drug. And you can see here this the sales page. This is the opener. Congratulations, you've just taken the first step towards a new, healthier, slimmer you. That's obviously the USP, is their biggest benefit. It's a weight loss drug. And then they continue, want to boost your dieting efforts, you'll be in good company, so more people are doing it, so you'll want to do it as well. For the past 10 years, Xenical has helped thousands of New Zealanders lose weight. Thousands, wow, so it must be good. It's clinically proven when combined with low-fat diet exercise that it can help you lose 68% more weight than dieting alone. All these benefits are all up front here in the sales page. Okay, an article, how to use Twitter like a pro. So their opening here, is your business on Twitter? Well, it should be, because it's got over 200 million members, sending out estimated 65 million tweets per day. So that was just my example before, telling people how amazing it is, so they have to be on it and get them going, oh wow, I need to read more and find out more. Here's my blog post also about how to use Twitter for business. If you sort of read this, you can see that it's very personal. It's coming from me, and it's a story about how, if you've been following my blog, I'm a huge Twitter fan. But before I started, before I used Twitter, 10 weeks ago, I was just like you, nervous as heck and hesitating, hovering, my finger hovering over the mouse, etc., etc. So it's a story before I actually get into the nitty-gritty part, which is down here, why you should use Twitter, how to set up a Twitter account, the language of Twitter, and my top Twitter tips. Oh my goodness. Okay, so you can see the difference between the three different channels. Okay, the question technique is actually a very good way to actually start your to write your opener. It works for all types of copy. Now, the reason it's really powerful is because when you ask a question, you're actually engaging with your readers, and in their minds, they're already subconsciously actually thinking of the answer themselves. So you've already engaged with them. So when you're asking a question, people just want to answer. So it's a great way. So here's an example here for weight loss. Do you live a roller coaster ride when it comes to food, comfort eating, craving junk food, or eating when you're not even hungry? Is it the frustration of knowing the right foods to eat, but just not following it through? So all these questions for someone who's overweight, they're going, yes, 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 that's me, that's me. So you see how questions are so powerful? Then they'll go, oh, okay, I must read more, right? So that's a really powerful way to do an opener. Okay, the next stage is you've got to write your body copy content, right? So you've kind of introduced, you've sort of led in with the opener. You've got the headline, which, bang, okay, yep, interested. The opener, oh yeah, right, okay, I see why this is so interesting. They're going to read more. So this is where you stress the benefits. You basically try and close it for them. You stress the benefits and solve their problems. Repeat the USP and the benefits. And don't forget to remember to use lots of subheadings and bullets and numberings and breaks so that the copy is easy for them to read. Okay. Now for sales copy, slightly different. That's where you introduce the product. And when you introduce the product, I mean, people, if they don't know your product, they're not going to buy it. So you have to make lots of claims and show proof of these claims to actually build trust. You know, get your facts and research and testimonials. Kind of like that last example I showed you from Zenical. You know, research. You know, so many people have used it, and you know, so and so said it worked, and you know, etc. You also have to overcome objections, because copy is a one-way street. And so you're not going to get the chance to overcome objections, because they're not going to be asking you any questions, right? So in your copy, overcome objections early on. And then you've got to close by reminding them of the main benefits, because you want to drive them to actually take action. And so it's got to sound exciting at the end, and just remind them how great your product is. Okay, now the next stage is the call to action. Now, this is where you tell people what they have to do. So you've got to make it stand out, because you want them to either call you, to subscribe, to buy from you, to read more, to email you, whatever it is that you want them to do. It's got to stand out, because that's the whole point of your article or your content, isn't it? So make it easy for them as well, and be clear on what you want them to do. Some tactics for call to action. This is more for sales, is to actually create urgency. So, you know, have limited offers and limited seats, you know, so they go, wow, I must do it right now. You reduce the risk, so because that's what people are going to be asking, oh my goodness, is it going to work for me? So you offer them like a money back guarantee, or, you know, testimonials and case studies, that sort of thing. Also offer incentives to get them taking the call to action. Maybe you give away a free giveaway, a free gift, or free bonus or something. And donations to a good cause is always, you know, good call to action tactic as well, because everybody likes to do good. So I've got some examples that I'm just going to show you. So sorry, I'm just going to get out of here and go into here to show you some examples of good content, good copy content. So here is a blog that I follow quite regularly, reviews and tips, by a guy called Daniel Sharkle. He's only 18, amazingly enough, and he lives in Bulgaria, but he produces great content about for internet marketers and social media. So you can see his headlines, very powerful, 9 ideas to help get, keep and convert more traffic. Great image. Now his opener, straight away he's talking about the problems of the reader. All bloggers have is traffic, you know, as simple as getting traffic. It might seem, you know, we don't get traffic that we hope for, etc., etc. So it's a great opener. And then he gets into the body copy, which is, you know, numbered list, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, bang, 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 bang. So it's easy to see exactly what it is he's talking about, what the solutions are for the reader. So 1, don't fly with it. 2, ramp up. Okay, and he's used lots of images, which is great to break up the copy, and you can see the paragraph breaks right throughout, makes it much easier to read. And he's used bullet points. There you go. And this is his call to action. What does he want people to do? He wants people to comment, right? So he says it in here. That's his call to action here. In blogs, generally, we want comments, right? He's also got call to action here to get latest updates and take a poll. Okay, so that's an example of a good website with information on it. Now, a sales page. Here's a weight loss sales page, another one. So if you have a look here, the headline, it's here, it's clinically proven, and it's yours to try 100% risk-free. I mean, already you're going, wow, that's great, it's been proven, and oh, and there's, you know, no risk. So you're already interested in it if you're overweight. The benefit of the product, you know, actually reverses your body's natural tendency to pack on weight. Wow, that's pretty cool. Already call to actions in here, risk-free guarantee. Backed up by, you know, TVNZ, that's the television channels in New Zealand. So that's pretty cool, isn't it? A call to action here already. So, and there's a call to action here. And then they get into the body copy. So here, another opener here, is that they talk about the benefits of it and how powerful it is. And then they talk about all the benefits here in bullet points. And then they back it up by research. Pretty powerful. And then call to action, right? And then if you go further down, all the testimonials and all the proof of their claims that it works. So it's pretty powerful. And their call to action right throughout. So that's actually an example of a very good sales page. I'm just going to go to my blog now. And so a blog is just, you know, something that people like myself put together. This is an article I wrote about 5 copywriting errors that drive your readers mad. And you can see body copy, I'm talking about, myself, sorry, the opener, I'm talking about my experiences. And then I go through lots of headlines, breaking it up, headings, one sentence paragraphs, lots of headlines, lots of bullet points. Here we go, lots of pictures. And then that's my call to action. Again, I want people to comment, and so that's my call to action here, right? So slightly, different ways of doing it, but the same principles apply, okay? So I'm just going to go back into here now. Right, so the last stage after you've written your copy is very, very important as well, is to break, edit, and proofread. Now, copywriting is so intensive that you actually do have to take regular breaks to allow your mind to rejuvenate. Whenever I write, whether it's 100 words or 1,000 words, I always take at least one break, often several breaks, and come back fresh, right? So go for a walk, grab a coffee, sleep overnight. Usually I will do it over several days to come up with good copy, because the first draft is never good enough, okay? So come back, you edit it, and then you might write more, you might edit it. Everybody does it differently, and that's how I do it. I write, edit, and then at the end I'll proofread everything. Proofreading is so important because you want to look professional, and if you have really good copy but it's not proofread, it actually makes you look unprofessional. So make sure you proofread everything. And well, hey, business owners, all you business owners out there, it's so easy as a business owner to forget that, because you're so involved in your business, so involved in your product, it's so easy to forget about the reader and what they know about you and what they know about your product. You know everything about your product, so you want to put everything down about how great the product is, but is the reader really interested in that? So really important, get someone else to proofread your work. Don't do it yourself. I would actually recommend copywriters in general to do that anyway. But generally for the business owners, it's more for the content more than for the actual proofreading. So here are some questions to ask your proofreaders, right? Does the headline grab you? Does the opening paragraph make you want to read more? Is the copy compelling enough to make you want to take action? Does the copy read well, and how can it be improved? Just make sure your proofer is someone that is external from your business, someone who doesn't know that much about your business, so they can see it from an external perspective. But make sure you go through the step if you're going to write your own copy, because really, when you're in it yourself, it's hard to see the wood from the trees. Okay, so I would totally recommend that. Okay, now it's your turn again. We're coming to the end of the session, and we're an hour and a half in. So I hope you got lots out of it. But here is another exercise for you. I'd like you to write a headline and an opener for these portable speakers. Sounds like a lot. And in 5 minutes, I think it would be amazing if you can do an amazing job in 5 minutes. It takes me, probably, a good half an hour, maybe just to write that, and over several hours, taking breaks, etc. So I'd like you to write a headline and opener for these portable speakers, and to make it easier for you, I have actually done the USP for you and also the features and benefits. Jam, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, and we would like to get 1 or 2, perhaps, volunteers, of course, to share their work. If we can have 2 different people, let's see. Any brave souls out there, just raise your virtual hand, and we will give you about 5 minutes. Lily, is it?
Yeah, 5 minutes. Yep. That would be fine. It's not easy, I know, but it's not a test to see how good you are. It's really just an exercise to help you start thinking, like I said, in the copywriter's way, and just to put some of the stuff that you've just learned into practice, because the more you practice, the easier you'll find it to write.
Yep. Okay. I think they're all thinking and trying to write right now. Okay. Well, Lily, if you'd
what about
like
Andrew? Would you be interested, Andrew, being a writer yourself?
Let's see if he's gonna say anything. Let's see. And I'm just looking at the clock here. Lily, while we wait for these guys, I mean, if you want to stretch for a minute or two before we take on questions, of course, and
Sure.
their answers. Yeah.
Sure. I might have a drink.
Yep, that would
Water.
be good.
Water. The wine comes later.
Right. No, we have to do that tomorrow, like after the
Yes.
sessions.
I think I might need a wine.
Yep. Just let me know after the webinar.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Any brave souls out there? Oh, they're still thinking, I'm sure. And I'm looking at the questions box or the chat box.
You can actually
as
ask
well.
questions now if you like. I mean, if you don't want to do this exercise, that's actually fine as well. I totally understand. It's just a way to get you thinking about it. Well, what I've just basically gone on and on about.
By the way, Lily, what do you call this? Just to confirm with you, some of the guys are asking if you will be providing a copy of your presentation for them to look at again.
Is there not going to be a recording there, Jim?
There is actually going to be a recording for all those who have registered and paid. We will give them a login so that they can access the recording. Just to check with you.
Mm-hmm.
So just the recording, correct?
Yeah, the recording is, yep. I mean, that's the whole purpose of the recording, isn't it? So that people can actually go back and revisit a lot of the stuff. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that I've just covered. So I'm not surprised that you would need that actually.
Okay, all right, no worries. And let me look at the room and
anyone game enough?
Anyone? I don't want to start calling people, like a class. I hate
That's
that
okay.
one.
I can just go to my one if you like. We don't have to.
Okay, let me just check here. Nope, no one is. Andrew, of course, is saying, just go to yours.
Okay, so no one's come up? Shall I? Is everybody happy for me to go to my one, or just put up your hand if you are?
Naomi just typed in, trying to write it now, but can't promise
cool.
I'll finish on time, smiley.
Yeah, it is actually 5 minutes is not long at all. Like I say, it takes me an hour at least to write anything really.
Okay, well maybe we could just move on to yours.
Okay, all right, and then we'll go to Q&As.
Yep.
So that's my copy here. At last, portable speakers that pack a punch. I basically, I should have given you the readers as well, but I identified the readers as being over 30-year-old males with a bit of money because this set is quite top quality. So the pack-a-punch is actually, it works well for males. Turn on these speakers and you won't believe they're portable. With powerful lifelike sounds, this high-life portable speaker system can rival any larger speaker system, yet it's so small and sleek you can carry it with you wherever you go, to the beach, to a picnic, to a party. That's my opener and my headline. So you can see the USP and the headline, as always. The USP is kind of in here as well because it's we're talking about how powerful these speakers are that you won't believe they're portable. Again, we're talking about the powerful lifelike sounds, the benefits, and the USP here. It can rival any speaker system, stereo system, but then it's so small and sleek you can carry it. So it's just benefits, USP. Okay.
Okay, we do.
Yep.
Sorry, no, I was just about to say that Andrew just said maybe headline sound you won't believe. Or
Yeah.
sound you won't believe.
Sound you won't believe. That's good as well, as long as people know that you're talking about speakers. That's the
Good
only.
point.
So it depends on the context. You could use that, I think, if there's already a picture of the speaker next to it, which if there is. Yeah,
Cool.
sound you won't believe. That's good.
Yep. Christina just mentioned difficult, I'll pass. I'll just look at the answers. No worries, Christina.
That's okay. Practice in your own time.
So far, so good. No comments from the audience.
Okay.
Lily?
All
Yep.
right. So well, that's actually the end of my presentation. I hope that was actually helpful for you. And I hope you enjoy revisiting it with the recording, and also I hope you enjoy the ebook about headlines. Thanks so much for attending. If you've got any questions for me, please go ahead and ask. I'm all yours.
Okay. Perfect. So, to everyone, just a few announcements while you think of your questions. One is we will definitely end in about 20 minutes, not unless you guys are all good, then we can end the webinar early. And second is for all of those who've registered and obviously paid for the event, thank you very much for your support. And we will actually have a survey at the end as soon as you close the webinar room or leave the webinar room. You will have a pop-up window and there is going to be a survey. We would really, really appreciate any feedback, good and bad, to make sure that we give you valuable content, of course, in our future digital media webinar series. And we will definitely email you the link to the recording. And let us see the questions. Smiley from Christina. Andrew says, I like this very clean copy, like the way it draws you in.
The what? Sorry. Oh, thank you very much. I hope so. I felt like I was rambling there a little bit.
Okay. From the audience, I'm just thinking if there's any
No
questions
questions?
from Twitter. If you guys are on Twitter, I don't think Twitter LAN has been very quiet. I think they've been very focused on your session, Lily.
Mm-hmm. Not surprising. It's quite a lot there, actually.
Yep. Okay, so I'd like to just confirm the audience. If you have, no more questions, or if you're good, can you just raise your hands? Or you're, well, virtually, of course. We can't see you raise your hands. Okay, Virginia says, okay, Ryan's good. Graham's good. I'm assuming the rest are not raising their hands because they have or a question or they're still thinking about it. Andrew, I'll open your